The use of physical force intended to cause harm, injury, or death to oneself or others, or to cause damage, destruction of property in most relationships nowadays is very alarming, which has affected the lives of the children involved in the family. Good evening, televiewers, and happy feast of the Ram to all the Muslim faithful in our community. In today's edition on the program issue, we shall be discussing on ways of understanding and addressing violence, its causes, consequences, and some solution. In today's edition, I am your presenter, Sarah Kum. Stay with us. You can join this discussion using the Facebook page of DMR TV. You can as well send in your contribution using the number you find on the screen. Stay with us. After the break, I am going to introduce to us the guests in today's program. Welcome back, televiewers. As we did mention above, today we shall be discussing, we shall be looking, that is, we shall be talking, understanding, and addressing issues that concern violence. It is something which is really disturbing our society, especially relationship. Joining me on air to discuss on this topic, I'll start with the person on my right hand, who is a handsome gentleman, Mr. Fon Anselm, who is a gender-based activist working at the Women Empowerment Service, the delegation, and he is in charge of carrying out statistics on how things are evolving. Good evening, Mr. Fon. You're welcome.
Good evening, Sarah. Good evening, televiewers.
Thank you for joining me in today's program. By my left, it is our usual mother in the building, Mommy Shira. You're welcome, Mama.
Masira, thanks a lot. Good evening, televiewers. Good evening, co-panelists.
Thank you all for joining us. We kickstart. Mommy Shura, I want to start with you. We are in a society where we often see violence occurring in relationship at homes and even breaking people apart. Now, in your own word, I'm starting with you because you are the mother in this building. What is violence in the context of relationship?
Violence, as I found in the dictionary, just means that these are actions or words which are intended to hurt someone. You can be violent just with your words. You want to hurt somebody, you want to do something bad, so you use words which can really hurt the person. Also, it can be used in terms of maybe the storm. We say the storm came with a lot of violence. You can also say somebody's anger. Somebody expressed their anger with a lot of violence. So that's it. Those are the few definitions I got.
Violent words intended to hurt. I like the statement words because most often we think that words cannot be that painful and words cannot cause violence. Mr. Fon, do you have something to add to what Mommy Shara just mentioned?
I think Mommy Sarah actually gave the standard definition, but just to add to what she gave, I think violence is just any form of harm that you inflict on somebody, be it directly or indirectly. Like she said, it could be verbal, it could be physical, as long as the person is going to feel hurt. In another context, though, want to, especially the context of domestic violence, they will say it is these are abusive. Let's say there are abusive behaviors that exist within relationships where one person uses it to maintain control over another person, or to maintain power over another person. Yeah. So I think those are for the definitions that I know about violence. Those are just, I think those, the touches just what's necessary.
I like this word, to maintain power over another person. So now I'll stay with you, Mr. Fon.
Yeah.
So somebody can just decide to show action because he or she wants to claim that he is more powerful than the other person in a relationship.
Actually, that is what obtains. You know, we come from a generation where we saw our parents growing in that, or could I call it, patriarchal generation, where men are in charge of everything. Even as Christians, we are still told that the man is the head of the house. Yes, but truly, I think with the explanations that go forth, it makes us understand that being the head does not mean that you own, like you own the other person. The other person is a human being too, in fact, with the soul. If she feels pain, she has her feelings, so she has her own dignity as a human being, which is supposed to be respected. But in any case, I think there is already that background where men are supposed to be in power. That's what I'll say background, because that is what men grow to understand. Since they have that background that they are supposed to be in power, whatever the woman is supposed to do, which will trample on that power that they have, it will definitely result in violence. Yeah. That is how it is. Either psychological or emotional, or most of the times physical, because that is where their strength is. For women are stronger when it comes to psychological violence. They can talk to you here and you spend a week without even eating. But men are more of physical. That is where they exercise their own strength the more. So that, I think, that is one of the underlying factors, or what the underlying factors that push men to always be aggressive, or maybe trying to protect their power.
Place.
Yeah, there is already that unequal power balance that existed, which is the major cause of all this violence and the rest.
Men want to be men. Men see themselves to be superior being. But, Mommy Shura, this violent action, all about this violent attitude that we are talking about today, does it only end within the men? There's this video I saw online, a woman beating the husband. So what can really be the cause that you see people start reacting to hurt the other person?
You know, in the family context, let me put it that way. You know, there is this lack of dialogue and communication. Couples fail to dialogue, and so most of the time there is this show of power, usually by the man. If the man says something and the woman does not, so she does it her own way, in order to show the woman that he's the one in charge, violence is bound to occur. So there is that lack of dialogue. You also have the manner of approach. The way you approach things in the house, it can make somebody to be violent.
That's true.
You need to approach in such a way that it is the environment is conducive for everybody, for the children, the man or the woman, whoever. We are also going to talk of complex. Somebody feels either inferior or superior, and with that attitude, you are bound to be violent, especially when the man thinks that he is the dominant being, he's the one in control. Sometimes you see the woman, because of feeling inferior, she also tries to show that I too I have a say in this family, and so that violence just spontaneously comes up. you have the family background. The way maybe somebody, let's say the woman comes from a rich family, or either spouse comes from a rich family and the other one from a lowly background. There is bound to be that there are bound to be problems, because the one who comes from the higher background will look low on the one who is of a low background, and so usually there will be that violent reaction. Infidelity. The men or the women, infidelity. When once your partner senses that something fishy is happening, there's going to be violence. No woman or no man is going to take it lightly when you hear that your spouse is being cheating on you. Everybody will try to take it violently. I also have lack of trust. When once you don't trust your spouse, that there is going to be that violence. Maybe the man or the woman is not even doing anything, but simply because you lack that trust in them, you start bringing up problems. You start being violent for no good reason. Maybe eventually you'll find out that nothing is even existing, and so you become maybe at that time you feel some remorse, but it's already too late. They have this one of favoritism. In the sense that when you have your children, please let the love for the children be the same.
Equal.
Don't show one child that you love them more than the other, because you are gradually putting into their minds that
complex.
You love the others, you love the other person more than, and the child, the one who feels left out, will eventually become violent. Okay, say we all need shoes for school. You prefer to buy shoes for my brother for 10,000, then you buy my own for 5,000. You always say, but daddy, come here, come and remove this plate, come and finish what I have on the plate. You are already putting the attitude of violence into those children, and eventually it will show up. I have others, but let
Mommy Shura, thank you so much. You have really given us so many causes of violence. I want to stay again with you. I just want to ask this question. You mentioned about complex family background as some of those some causes that can result to violence. Now, today is very common. Violence is just rampant in the society. Before now, down memory lane, when family used to look for wife for a man, we hardly get to this level.
Yeah.
Is it that we should go back to that old period, that old fashion where my mother is supposed to connect me to another man so that the relationship should not get to that level of family background? Do we get back to that level? Because we are only trying to kill this aspect of violence which is rampant in relationship this day. What then can we do? Or what were some of those secrets that helped back then to prevent the situation of what is happening today, this violent situation?
Just as you've said, in those good old days, the parents usually fished the wife in the society, wife for their son. And the same too with the girl. The parents would try to look around and see who is good for their daughter. Because in those days we were mostly in the village, you know, and in the village we know each other, we know each family. We know the families that are good and the families that are tagged to be bad. So they will always, the parents will always get somebody good, and usually whichever wife or husband that the parents chose for the child was always good. The marriage turned out to be good. I don't know how they did it, but they did it in such a way that you'd hardly see that violence in the family.
The family.
They say what an old man can see sitting down,
A young,
a young
man.
man, if you climb on top of the mountain, you will not see. But nowadays, the children go in for Android generation. They want wives and husbands who are flashy, really flashy. One who enters somewhere and everybody will know that somebody has entered. Those are the type of husbands and wives that the men want, and usually those are the types that they are not serious. They are not serious. So if we could go down memory lane and start choosing, honestly, it will be better.
Okay.
Usually when a son or a daughter brings a girl
man.
or a man, and you look at the person and say, this is not too good, they'll get angry with you.
Yeah.
Say, mommy, you had your time, let me also have mine. I have the right to make my choice. Or you make the choice, and then when it becomes bad, you start running back to me. I've had that experience. I advise somebody, please, I look at this girl and I don't think she's good enough for you. The marriage did not even last for up to 2-3 years. Another one, the marriage did not take 1 year, and it ended like that. And I said, you see, but it was too late. So the children should learn to listen to their parents. Don't look at the flashy appearance of the girl or the boy.
Children nowadays, we should learn to listen to our parents so that we too will avoid that issue of violence in our relationship. Let us listen to them. Mr. Fon, I will come back to you. Mommy Shura has elaborated on so many causes of violence. Now, those things can cause something very bad. So I want you to tell us some of those consequences that will result because of violence.
Okay, I think violence has a very, very wide range of consequences, from very mild to very serious. In fact, as serious as death. We've seen people killing people because of maybe due to domestic violence. Just of recent, we heard that a man stabbed a wife and things like those. We hear those stories every day. All of those are just examples of domestic violence. So we start right from the level of loss of lives. We go to injuries, disabilities. We see people who we hear how people maybe they cut the. We heard another news that they cut the manhood of one guy and things like that because of all of those are just signs of violence. It actually results to irreparable damages sometimes, because at the end of the day, no matter how you apologize, you are not going to repair some of the damages that we are going to cause. There is that physical part of it, and then there is also a very serious part, which is the psychological part. Most of the times, the wounds that we have internally are more severe than the wounds that we have externally. You'll see a person, maybe they find themselves in situations that affect the whole of their lives because of maybe a one-time event. We have women that they went into lesbianism and things like that because they felt that maybe they were raped and things like that. They just had that negative thought about the opposite sex. Yes. So it changes people's lives. We are not justifying those kind of acts, but we are saying that violence can actually lead to a lot of maybe psychological defects. We have all of that. Then the worst part is the part that concerns our children. Mama was talking about the causes, and I think she mentioned very well about the background, the family. I think one other important aspect from the background is the lifestyle. If you come from a home where there is violence, there is like a likelihood that you too are actually going to exhibit violence.
Sure.
So we have these children that, as we are maybe exhibiting violence in front of them, we are grooming a new breed of
violence,
stronger people. That, and they will always multiply. That's how it is, because generations are changing. Maybe in your time, the highest thing a man could do was to beat a woman. That was, and the woman would still be very obedient. Yes, but nowadays they will not end up beating. They have other things that they will do to it, even yet because things are changing. They start like the change. This lifestyle changes. They actually add to it and they multiply some of the negative things that we used to do. So there is when we do some of these things, especially in front of children, we are actually damaging those children, if not presently, in future.
In future.
So that is one way to look at it. Then there is the economic part. You will take your time and you beat your wife and give her wounds, and then you still carry your own money, take her to the hospital to
hospital.
treat. That's money that you would have used to do something in the house. You maybe you have a situation where maybe you end up in prison or in the police or this. You need to start bailing and things like that because we receive those kind of cases every day. Sometimes the woman will be the one to even come and report. Then tomorrow she comes again and starts saying that, hey, when I go pay my mom, we see those kind of cases. But at the end of the day, they will lose money at the level of the police because the police will not bail for free. So there is that part. Then we have people that even lost their jobs because of violence. Violence with anger and the rest. You are bound to carry some of these things out of the house. A man may leave the house with anger and then go to the workplace and then carry out
Transferred
aggression. Yeah.
and at the end of the day it costs you your job, and most importantly even gives you, there is a kind of stigma that you get when you start exhibiting violence publicly. People start seeing you like a beast, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So you go to places and people are afraid of you, or people talk. When people see you, they just sit quiet because definitely they were surely talking something
About
negative
you.
about you and things like that. So those are just some of the consequences that you will face. There are a lot of them. Sorry that I'm giving them haphazardly, but
No, it is okay.
it is something to really look into. It is very, and I think it is very important too because of this intergenerational aspect of it. Intergenerational in the sense that it is growing from one generation to
To
another.
another.
As you see, even sometimes it's not just the children in your house, but any person that witnesses it. Now we have we are in the Android generation. Some of these children don't see it in our houses, but they see it in phones,
yeah.
and then they practice it. So we need to really be careful and handle this issue of violence with a lot of care.
Masra, just to add to what that one has said, some children become so afraid of getting married. They don't want to hear anything about marriage because of the violence they have experienced at home.
Yeah.
Why should I go and get married and be beaten every day the way my father is beating my mother?
Exactly.
So some children don't even want to get married again. And then lastly, there can be divorce. And that divorce is to the detriment
Of the children.
The children are just hanging. They have nowhere to go to. So we parents should be careful to exhibit that type of attitude in front of the children.
We should be very careful the way we go about things. Like Mr. Fon was saying, it is something which will grow. It is a generational something. Do not do it and think that it is ending there.
No.
I want to stay with you again, Mr. Fon. You mentioned something that caught my attention, that most often you always have that case of women coming back to ask for their husband after reporting them. How often can a woman come and report the husband to your place?
We are encouraging women to report every incident of violence.
Okay.
It is not for us to punish your partner. If it gets to a point where you see the partner going up there, it is the stubbornness of the partner.
Okay.
We, at the level of the women empowerment, we don't detain. We will detain when you want us to use force. For example, we give you a convocation to come so that we handle your case, and then you snub us. We have had cases where they insult us on phone. Sometimes they even come to the office and insult and then go, not knowing that we are working to. There is now presently there is what we call the gender desk in police stations and gendarmeries. Like when it comes to gender and things like that, there is a centralized body which handles most of these things. So it's just a phone call away. Just tell them that just signal them that there is this recalcitrant person here, and they are coming to pick the person immediately. So that time has actually, but for now, we are more into family harmony, bringing people together. We are not there for separation. But when you want to instead take your own rights and then abuse the rights of the other person, you will beat your wife to the point where she even miscarriages, and then you abandon her there.
Even have
we call you to the office, and then you snub, and then you even start insulting us. Come, I'll see which one, I'll do this. Those kind of statements start coming up. At the end of the day, you see, there is no other way to go about it rather than using force.
That's true.
Yeah.
I still want to ask another question, because we are helping the public too.
Yeah.
What if it gets to that level? Can you advise the woman to divorce?
No, for divorce, that is a personal decision.
Okay.
We always, and it is at the level of women empowerment, we hardly go to that level. We'll send you to the state council. If you go there, and when we try to bring you together to the point where you cannot, maybe you don't want
it.
We'll send you to the state council, where perhaps they'll be the ones to follow up the divorce process. Yes, we cannot go into divorcing people.
I like the fact that your office is there to harmonize family, not to destroy birds. Women, Mommy Shura.
Yes, ma'am.
Mommy Shura.
I'm
We
listening.
we are only talking. It's like we are only talking and going to the men. Whereas you started your definition by word. Do you know that some words can kill
Of course.
more than action? And most of those violent results it is because of words from us, the women. Well, how can we do as human to manage our anger, not to get to that level of damaging or hurting another person?
I would like to comment by saying that anger is something that when it comes, it's difficult to control it. So you should not even allow yourself to get into that stage of getting so angry that you can kill, that you can beat a woman or beat a man to the extent of the person having a deformity, a fracture, they lose the eye or something. So I would just like to say that you should know yourself, know who you are, know how to control yourself. You should be able to know yourself, control yourself, not to get to the extent of being violent. As they say, be calming down. In Nigerian people, they say be calming down. So try to calm down, control yourself. I mean, no human being is an animal. It's only animals that have no self-control. But as a human being, you have self-control. And if you know that you are the type who, if you get angry, you become violent, then you should try to control it. You should also study your partner. Know what your partner likes, what your partner doesn't like, and try to work on that. If you work on it, I'm sure there will be no violence. Then you should be able to tolerate your partner. That tolerance, that you bring yourself to the point where when the person starts saying, this one is starting like this, there will be no. So you just bear what they are saying, even though it is not easy. As a human being, you have your ways, I have mine.
That's true.
I'm not bound to follow your ways. Yep. You are not bound to follow mine. But then we need to come to a compromise. There should be a compromise. And then I would also think that we should learn to pray. We should pray, seek God's face, especially if you know yourself that you are the type who gets easily angry. You should seek God's face. We pray as a family, or just the two of you sit down and pray and dialogue, talk among yourselves. So, and then at least there will be some form of control. You will not go to the extent that you start getting violent all the time. It's not good. We are not animals, we are human beings. And when once you exert that self-control, eventually you will master it.
we should have self-control. It is very important. Before you say yes to your partner, know your partner. Know those things which makes them happy and those things which makes them angry. Above all, let us learn how to pray. Mr. Fon, we are struggling to look at those things that can help us to control our anger. Now, it is true, Mommy Shiraha, she has explained, she has given some point. In your capacity, where in your environment, in your office, when somebody comes that, okay, we started like this, it is because this person did this to me. That is why. How do we advise those persons when it comes to anger management?
Anyway, the first thing I want to say is just a correction. There is no justification for violence.
Okay.
You cannot go and say that it's because the woman was passing her mouth. That's why I slapped and did.
Okay.
The law does not recognize that one. That's
Wow.
one thing. Yes, no, the law does not recognize it. Violence is violence. All of them are punishable, but one is not a justification of the other. So we should be very aware of that. Don't say that no, if be passing mob, so I beat you. If we do this, so I do that. There is self-defense which may come in, which may be a justification for violence, but self-defense is very technical because it has to be appropriate to it's not just any kind of action. For example, maybe the woman mistakenly hit your hand, you take a belt, beat her until you wound, and then you say it was self-defense because she touched you first. No, self-defense means you are struggling to the minimal action that you can take to protect your life. So, or if you are going to the extent of inflicting unnecessary pain towards another person, that one now is not self-defense. I'm bringing that part because most of the times we have a tendency to say that now you start make mop, so now either way I beat you. It is not done like that. It is true that one provokes the other, but it is not a justification. Now, concerning this issue of anger, yeah, it is more common for us men. I know that women too have anger, but for us men, it is more dangerous because we have the force, the physical force already. So by the time you mesh the physical force and the anger, there is bound to be maybe heavy consequences even. So it is even more dangerous for us. Anyway, what we used to advise people in the office as far as anger management is concerned, you should be able to read the early signs of anger. Anger actually, it has a scale. There's what we call the anger scale. It means you start from normal agitation to the level where there is to the level of rage. The rage is where you can even take a knife and pierce somebody. So by the time you notice that this person's anger is climbing up, by the time especially when they start shouting, their voice starts, you start hearing them shouting and things, that you know that things are already fueling up. You should calm down. If you were actually maybe trying to talk on something, sometimes you will not even come to a conclusion at that particular point. So there is no point forcing that discussion at that moment when it's going to just continue in violence. It's better to just drop it and then you continue some other time. We have cases. There are times when they bring cases in the office and we start handling. It becomes even more so violent that we sit and we are asking how were they coping before they even came to this point. But what we usually, that's why sometimes you see they'll say they are adjourning the case because they want them to calm down.
Calm down.
So when you are too angry, the best thing to do is to shift whatever is causing the anger, push it first. Then there is also, you should try to practice we call it relaxation. Try to relax. When I say relax, it's not like you go, like for example, some people say when they are angry, they just
They go out and get a bottle.
Beer. No, not a bottle. The bottle will instead provoke more atrocities.
Okay.
Sometimes you just need to go out and take a walk. Just have a clear mind where you are not thinking or not thinking too much about, especially when the cause of the problem is too close to you. Just go out sometimes and have a cool mind. Try to breathe, especially if you are still in face of the problem. Try to breathe very deeply. Sometimes they'll even advise that you drink water. I'll borrow a joke that I've forgotten the name of the priest. He said he went to one mommy came and said the husband is too. In fact, they quarrel a lot. So they were looking for a way that they will actually stop
the
that
issue.
quarreling. So he was, according to the mommy, the priest was supposed to give her something physical, maybe holy water or something. Well, the priest went in, took water, normal water, and without the woman knowing, gave her and said, when the woman starts talking, just put it in your mouth. Don't open your mouth. If you open your mouth, it's going to affect you. The woman did that for about 5 times, and she realized that when there is a problem, the problem just starts and then dies down.
Wow.
They don't with the water,
The
in
water
your
is
mouth,
in
you
your
will not
mouth, you
answer.
cannot talk.
Whatever you wanted to say, you will not say. So at the end of the day, the problem the man cannot be talking alone, and the problem just continues like that. So sometimes those are just some ways in which you can actually shift the anger, because one thing with anger is it is very progressive. The more you are into it, the more it's getting more and more worse, and the more you start looking for, maybe there are, especially when you're in front and then the other person too is reciprocating in a negative way, it provokes even more. So sometimes it's better you just go away for a while and then you calm down yourself. When you feel you are calm, then you can come back and talk about the problem. And then we talked also about understanding the other person, but sometimes we understand the other person and then use it to the person's disadvantage.
That's true.
If you know that this person is this kind of person, and instead of you using it to help the person, you're using it to
Against the
provoke
person.
For example, you know that this person is the kind of person that maybe talks a lot. It's your place to know that when there is this kind of problem, you just need to be calm, or you don't need to take some things too serious, but you instead use it as a cause of a problem again at the end of the day, so it becomes even more complex. So we need to understand ourselves, not just understand ourselves, but understand ourselves positively and help each other to grow. Another thing that we used to advise, when they come to the office, sometimes we say, when they are quarreling, we say, take pen, go write that problem. Just write. The time that they sit and they are thinking and writing, the anger
Comes down.
by writing. Sometimes as you are removing the thoughts from your head and putting on a paper,
Piece of paper.
it helps you to reduce that anxiety. Sometimes that's why you see some people, these people with journals and the rest, sometimes it's because they have very, very painful situations that they cannot carry in their head, so they prefer to put them on paper sometimes.
Papers.
Because in the course of writing it down, you are relieving yourself too of the stress too that you actually carried due to that particular incident or thought. I think those are some of the strategies that we used to apply. We talked about anger management. We used to apply some of those strategies for anger management.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fon. We have learned a lot how to manage that anger in you. Make yourself useful. Turn the problem to an act by writing. I'll take this contribution. Thank you for your program. Enjoying your program. It is very useful and great human interest. Special kudos to Mama Shura for always being very objective. From Father Roderick, watching from Bunduma. Father, we say thank you, and we are glad you are enjoying it. Mommy Shura.
Yeah. Mama, I just wanted to add something to what Mr. Fon has said. Either partner should learn not to be a calendar. Should learn to forgive. Don't be a calendar. A problem starts. You have started again. Remember 2 weeks ago, this is what you did. You remember about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you did the same thing, and I forgave you. You are being a calendar, and it doesn't help at all. The church usually says forgive and forget. It's not easy to forget.
That's true.
Forgetfulness comes over time.
Yes.
So if you can manage to forgive, that is to forget, forgive the person. Tell the person, well, even if you don't tell them, just make up your mind, say, I'll forgive my husband, I'll forgive my wife. And you try to go down memory lane. What actually made me to love this man, to choose this man, or choose this person? And eventually you see some goodness in that person, and you are going to forgive. and with time you're going to forget. But forgetting immediately it doesn't go. You cannot forget immediately. Then we should also learn not to make a comparison with outsiders. You see somebody's child who is brilliant in school, they are respectable, they do the right things at the right time. You come back to your house and say, look at you there, look at you. Or even compare your wife, look at you. Your mates are outside there bringing in a money. You are sitting in the house doing nothing. Meanwhile, that poor woman is in the house struggling to take care of the house, taking care of you, but you see it as nothing. So we should not compare, because when you compare, it's going to bring even more violence. So learn not to compare. Just learn to pipe down and accept your wife or your husband for what they are. And then I'll also say we should dialogue. In order to prevent violence, there must be dialogue. Dialogue not necessarily between husband and wife. We include the children. We sit down and we talk. There are times I will call my children. Usually I do that at the end of the year, just getting into Christmas. Please let us sit down and talk. What have I been doing that you people don't like? You see this person come with their own, this one comes over there, and they tell me what they don't like about me.
Yeah.
You adjust. And then I also tell them what I don't like about them.
them.
Give the children the chance to express themselves. I think it also helps. You don't just, simply because you are the father or the mother, you think that you must impose on the children. No. Give them the chance to talk. Let them tell you what to do that is violent, that they don't, that it can be termed as violence. Because when you insult a child, you this dull thing, you go to school, they are telling you that you are giving that is emotional violence, and it's not good. You tell the woman, you this lazy thing, you can't do anything. That is emotional violence, and some people can't just even stand. They can't stand it. They need to find a way to bring it out. And then lastly, I'll still go on to prayers. We should pray as a family. When once you pray, you ask God for the strength, the Holy Spirit will enlighten you, and the violence is going to eventually dissipate.
I like this point. Partners, do not be a calendar. Because that is one of the reasons that we will get this violent attitudes all the time at home.
Yeah.
Do not be a calendar. What has passed has passed. Do not remind yourself, you did this yesterday, you did this 10 years ago, and you are still doing it now. Let us learn to forgive. Let us learn to forget. It is not easy to forgive and forget, but let us learn it by putting in place dialogue. Dialogue, it is very important. It is a small word, but so powerful. Learn to sit with your partner, learn to sit with your children, and dialogue together. Mr. Fon, I will want to come to you now, so that you advise those who are perpetual in that act of violence. There are some people who is their nature. They'll solve it today, like what you are saying, as many times as possible. I wanted to ask that question because if I carry my man there today, tomorrow, the next day, it becomes boring. It means that the people, they are perpetual in nature. By doing that act to them is very normal. What can you advise some of those people?
I think first of all, there is nothing that kills a man faster than anger or violence, because by the time you carry out you keep anger in you, it's going to destroy you. It's not destroying people around you, it is destroying you more. Because at the end of the day, you start seeing yourself you see men having high blood most of the times. It starts like that. It gives you health problems, it gives you psychological problems, it gives you economic problems, because like I said, you won't be too long before you hit your boss in the office because you are in anger. So there are a lot of things. You end up finding yourself disgracing yourself because you are keeping you are being violent. So if you are a man or a woman or whosoever you are, and you have this issue, this challenge of anger, I think it is very, very, very important that you look for strategies to overcome it. There are times when you may try everything that you can do and it is not going. There are always possibilities to look for professional help, because truly it is better, like they used to say in the Bible, it's better to enter the kingdom of God with one eye than to enter with
both
go to
eyes.
hell with both
Both
eyes. Because
eyes.
at the end of the day, what the consequences of that anger, you may be keeping. One thing with us men is that we hardly speak up. That's a challenge, and most men have. Men will hardly speak up. They may have challenges, they have problems, they have this, they have that, they have their own issues. But for a man to go out and say, I want to come and report this issue about myself or about my partner,
wife,
it is very difficult. They have that complex already. But I think it is something that we need to, even if it's to meet your fellow man and discuss with him, at least just look for a way to air share your problems
share your
sometimes.
problem.
We know that yes, the way the society is today is very dangerous sometimes, sharing your problems, because some people will take your problems now
Well.
to you hear it on air sometimes, because you share it
You
with
share
one
it
person.
with them.
Yes, but sometimes there is nothing for me. Because at the end of the day, when the negative consequences will start coming, you will still be on air. We'll still
Yeah.
hear that you did something. People, the whole world will still know that you did this thing. So it's better to solve the problem now that it is still private than to wait for it to become a public thing and then it disgraces you publicly. You should understand that first of all, like they say, the world is difficult today. There are a lot of things that have made things to be a bit more difficult. If you are carrying anger and then the rest, all of those things, you are just adding your own stress. Because at the
telling
end
you.
of the day, sometimes you are angered about somebody and the person is not
Not
even
even
aware.
Not aware.
He's not even aware that you are angered
Yes.
about it. So you are the one stressing yourself, you are the one killing yourself, thinking about it, having high blood. Sometimes you even sit and you are praying for bad things to happen to people and things. So we
Having
need to
sleepless nights.
forgive ourselves, or relieve ourselves of some of these things. And it will all sometimes we just need to speak out. If it's actually maybe a problem that we have with people, meet them and face the problem rather than keeping malice that would end up destroying you in the long run.
I want you to also talk to those who are experiencing violence at home.
Like the victims.
Victim.
Okay. No, the thing is, nowadays there are in fact they are making it very, very easy for people to speak out.
Okay.
If you take your phone now and type maybe that you have an issue of gender-based violence or maybe domestic violence, since we are talking about domestic violence here, you should see at least one or two places where you're going to report. But my issue is, normally if you go to a family service, we'll always ask you what you have done as a family to solve the problem first, because we understand how families are supposed to work. Don't just have an issue, you don't want to dialogue and then you just jump and you want to go to a public
public
office
place
to go and
to
report.
report.
No, it is not done like that. It is not done like we discourage that to the highest extent. Let us come in when you have tried what you could do to solve it, especially at the level of the family, meaning that you should have at least, we know that there are steps. There is a family first before the law, before the church. So if there is a problem in your marriage, we expect that you should at least get to your families first. If the families cannot solve it, then it comes now to our level. If we are coming in at certain points, maybe it is just for fast recovery, but it's not actually for us to start settling key things, because at the end of the day, we want to start seeing parents and things like that to be sure that they are aware of some of
those
these
things that
issues.
came up.
Yeah, because sometimes it's very impolite to have a domestic issue with your partner and then the person is taking it to a public office. It is sometimes very disrespectful, even to you, the parents, because you cannot sit there as a parent and you hear tomorrow that your daughter was carrying a case to a certain place and things like that. So we should try our best to speak out first of all to the closest people that we have confidants most of the time, especially as married persons. We have godparents, we have all of that. As for us Catholics, we have godparents, we have
the family life service.
Voila, there is Christian family. All of there are those institutions that have been put in place by the church to help us in those moments. It is not easy, especially in marriage. It's not easy, those challenges will come. They will come. But the problem is now having the ability to sail
To
through
overcome
those challenges.
it.
Sometimes it may come and you feel like this is the end. But I don't think if we actually put God in front, like if God is supposed to be the center of it, it will just be the end like that. Like Mami said, there are times that we need to go back and check how it started in the first place. We try to make use of some of those good moments that we have had to overcome some of those bad moments. But in any case, don't die in the house. Don't die in silence. If it's something that you cannot take again, don't wait till the day that will come.
We'll come and bury.
We'll not like that one. At least go to somewhere, go to church, go to anywhere and report first. Even if it's to call the person to your house so that you sit down with your partner and discuss, not necessarily you taking your partner to the place. Even if it's to call somebody to your house, to sit in your own house and as a couple you discuss your issues, but at least look for a way to resolve problems. It is not good when problems are kept for too long. It only becomes more and more serious. Sometimes you get to a point and start asking yourself that how did we get to this
To
point?
this level.
It was a very tiny problem that we would have solved, but we have taken it to be so serious that we don't even understand the cause of the problem again. So please, if we have issues, let us not wait for them to grow so big before we solve them. Let's solve them while they are still small.
Thank you so much, Mr. Phone. Mommy Shura, I want to hear from you. You are advising those who are, that is their duty. And you are advising those who are victim.
Oh, Mr. Fona said almost everything, but I just want to add that with dialogue, you look for the appropriate time. Do not try to dialogue while one partner is angry. No. Wait until the person pipes down and then you can start maybe darling, my love, whatever you used to call yourself in those days. Because now when they start getting old in the union, they start saying Mama Grace.
Grace.
Papa Peter. It's not more darling, it's no more my love. It comes now Papa or Mama. So you should use those sweet words. Show some love. Show love. As I said, you go down memory lane. When we started, how was it? And we try to bring back some of those old things that you could do, sweet memories, and you be able to get back on your feet. Show love to your partner when he actually needs it or when she needs it. Then above all, you should show empathy. Be empathic. I'm being violent to my partner. How would she or he feel how would I feel if that partner did the same thing to me? Put yourself in their place and then you imagine that, no, I will not feel fine. Okay, that's how that a partner doesn't feel fine too. So if you try to be a bit empathic, you're going to succeed. Don't just do it because it's my wife. I have the right. I'm the master of the house. I'm the man of the moment. No. Be empathic. Think about how people started and how, as Mr. Afonso, how did you even get to this place? How did we get here? Sit and think about it. Seek the face of God. Be honest to yourself. Be honest. Don't try to defend yourself. I did this because of that. No. Don't defend yourself. Look at the problem squarely. Put some small salt, which is empathy. Put other things, and then you will surely get what the problem is. So, husbands and wives, don't let the problem get too big. Try to arrest it. Just nib it in the bud, and you're going to succeed.
Do not let the problem get out of the box. There is nothing impossible with God.
Yeah. Pray.
With God, everything is possible. All we are saying here is that we should avoid violence. Let us dialogue together. Let us use those wonderful words which made us to be one. Let us bring our family into play whenever there is an issue. Do not just jump into public places because you want to report. Let those sweet memories always live within us. At the end of the day, there is no justification for being violent. So all we are saying is love should abide. Love should reign, so that we'll have a wonderful family. Remember that what you are doing in front of those children, it is a seed you are planting, which will either destroy you tomorrow and destroy the community. And because we want a wonderful society, we want a wonderful family, we want a wonderful generation, we are saying that love should abide. From us to you, we say we love you all so much. From us to you, we say no to violence. From us to you, we say together we'll be a wonderful society. I leave you in the hands of wonderful program. Do not turn off this channel, because you have wonderful programs coming. Until then, we'll see again next week for yet another wonderful topic on the program issue. Bye.